Good morning, YouTube. Flightsimuguy here. Today I'm doing a quick tutorial on non-precision approaches. I'm at Bolton Field in Columbus, Ohio, and I'm in the outstanding A2A Simulations Piper PA-128 Cherokee. I think I need to do my walk around. And I'm using real-world weather. It's kind of foggy and misty and rainy, which is perfect for non-precision approaches, I think. But before we do anything, I really need to do a walk around. It's been a long time since I've used this plane, which means the battery's probably dead. Excellent shape, cam guard. I don't need to swap out the battery, evidently, according to this, even though it's been sitting here for almost a year. Alright, the walk around. Actually, to do the walk around, you have to lower the flaps. Okay, and then you come out, and then you grab and check and look at all the hinges and all of that bullshit. It all looks good. This one here, I need to disconnect the tie down, otherwise I can't go anywhere. And I'm not seeing the tie down here. Ah, there it is, and it's disconnected. Okay, tire is good. Check the fuel. Fuel's good. This process, man. Alright, we're good on the F-gas. I really truly can't tell how you can tell by looking in here. I guess it's this right here. Okay, what's next? Check the oil. Test plenty of oil. Right there. Nose. Where are we here? Checked. Oh yeah, nose. Struts, tire. Yeah, it's all good. Make sure there are no birds. And the radiator. Remove all the bird nests. And check more fuel. Check the oil again. Or that's more fuel. That's the left tank. Yeah, they have these various drop zones where you have to check the oil, check the gas, and I have to move the tie down. And that's the stall warning. Somewhere, here it is. You gotta remove that. Ooh, it's hot. All right. All those hinges look good. Flaps look good. All those are good. Come back here. Remove the tie down. All those joints are good. All that joints are good. Grab that. That's good. And we are good. Let's get back in here. Close this. All right. And it's getting foggy in here. All right. So let's see here now. That's good. There we go. All right. So if I remember how to do this. First thing you got to do is turn on the battery master. Okay, what the hell just happened? Okay, for some reason my battery master is mapped to my brakes. Alright, don't worry about that. Set the emergency brakes. Alright, let's see here. Battery master is that. So we need to turn that on. The next thing we need to do is turn on the fuel pump. And move that in slowly. Okay, that primes the engine. Alright. Rotating beacon needs to be turned on. This needs to go in a little bit. Fuel cut off needs to be set to one of the fuel tanks. There we go. Magnetos need to be turned here. 1, 2, 3. False alarm on the clear prop. Let's try it again. Clear prop! And then press this. There we go. We did it. First try. And this is a study level sim. So what we got to do is we got to let the engines warm up a little bit. Let the oil temperature come up. So it has a hard time holding the parking brake. Alright, I'm just going to trust that it's not going to roll off the ramp with me. Alright, then I need to turn on some lights. No, turn on the avionics master. There we go. And what else do I need to do? It's been a while since I've flown this. Needs to be up a little bit. There. Oh, shit. Should pee. Okay, so I taxied into the grass a little bit. Not my fault, the damn parking brake isn't holding. Alright, let's try it again. Okay, now I need to get some fresh air flowing through here, otherwise my window will fog up. Stupid. So I'm going to stand on the brakes. Alright, so the fresh air. There is something in here. There we go. And you can also, to get fresh air, I think the best way to do it, to be totally honest, is this. Defroster, cabin main vent. Turn those two on. Okay? Alright. Let's get an ATIS weather briefing. Alright, so temperature and dew point are the same, 13 degrees, which is why we have fog. Ceiling is 200 feet. Unfortunately, this is going to be an instrument flight. Let's see, do I have the right instruments? Yes, I do. Alright. Now, let's go ahead and get permission to go. Screw you, ATC. Winds were 05 something, so the winds are coming from the north, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take off runway 4. So let's go ahead and taxi, and the engine should be nice and warm. I won't lie to you, when I was expecting this level of detail in Flightsimguy's games, but it didn't work out that way. So, all right. So let's go ahead and start our taxi. What I need to do is bring up my flight plan. And our flight plan, I'm just going to fly south for a little bit. And then I'm going to use a non-directional beacon to do a non-precision approach to an airport, but with the ceiling of 200 feet, I'm not sure if I can do that. To be totally honest, I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that. Not that it can't be done, I just don't think. And this is not runway 4, this is runway 22. I just don't think my piloting skills are that good. Yeah, so I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and take a break and let's review the flight plan. We're at Bolton Field. We're going to take off south on runway 22 and we're going to fly 22 nautical miles and try to do a landing at this airport. This is Fayette County Airport. Then we're going to head east and do a landing at Ross County Airport, which is right here. Now, I'm not going to be able to talk about NDBs and non-precision approaches while I'm flying, because I'm gonna have a hard time keeping this thing straight and narrow because I'm gonna be in IFR. So what I'm gonna do is, in the middle of the flight, we'll cut over to another video where we're gonna talk about it. Just know that using an NDB station to do a non-precision approach, it's kind of like a VOR, but an NDB station is a lot easier. All you have to do is tune in the 3-digit code in the ADF, and then this needle is going to point to the antenna or to the tower, and you just fly towards it. During my virtual tours around the world, I've discovered that a lot of airports outside of the United States, they use NDB stations to help aircraft go to the airport, and usually it's near the foot of the runway. So all you have to do is tune the frequency in. This is just going to point straight to it, and just make sure that you're flying directly to the NDB station, and then just keep following it straight, and it will take you right to the runway. That is my plan today. Unfortunately, I didn't expect the minimums to be this low. So let me go ahead and pull up the flight plan on this other computer, because I'm going to have to reference that while I'm flying. I can't fly like this. Engine should be nice and warm. Don't have a checklist. I'll need one. This is a very easy plane to fly, so I'm not worried about it. And let's just go ahead and lean the mixture a little bit. Alright. I'm going to be in the soup, unfortunately, but I don't have much of a choice. Alright, so I need to fly heading 219. Winds are not a problem. Windsock looks deflated. .18. Alright, here we go. And see, okay, my needle came alive. Alright, all I need to do is fly directly towards that needle. That's using ADF, the automatic direction finder, for navigation. ADF technology is old school navigation technology. Non-directional beacons, they've been around since the 30s, and they're still in use today. Why? Because they're very easy to use, and I guess the equipment is cheaper. Alright. Now there are specific tactics for tracking an NDB station, and I don't know them. All I know is I'm just going to fly, keep this straight, and my vertical speed is too high. I'm trying to trim down here. Trim down, trim down. Okay, I'm losing it. Now when you fly over this thing, it's going to spin around, okay? And it doesn't give you any direction either. Alright, there. Flying towards it again. Gaining altitude some more. What the hell is wrong with my trim? What the fuck is wrong with my trim? Oh. I need to come off the gas. There we go. I need to trim up. I'm just trying to keep the ship right here. Alright, there we go. Still too high. But I'm on track here. Just gonna have to use my throttle to manage my vertical speed rather than chasing the level using my trim. That's not doing me any good. This is a lot easier here. Trying to use your trim to stay level, it's hard. Just use your throttle. When you're getting low, give it gas. When you're getting high, come out the gas, and use that to maintain your vertical speed. Alright, so what's happening, I should be, according to this map, it's only 6 miles, so I should be passing over this shortly. And what's going to happen is it's going to swing around when I pass it, because then it's going to be behind me. Because remember, the ADF tracks the NBD beacon. And as it is right now, I'm just trying to keep the wings level. Alright, 6 miles, which means I should be passing it any second now. And then it's going to swing around, it's going to be behind me. And then I need to tune into 414, which is the Washington Courthouse NBD station. And then I'm going to use that to do a non-precision approach to Fayette County Airport, because the distance between that NBD station and the airport is so small that it doesn't even register in Sky Vector. It's a really short distance. So see, it swung around. Now it's directly behind me. So over here I just got to tune 414 and watch this. Zoom. Oh, gotta swap it first. There it goes. Alright, 414. So all I have to do now is fly, and I'm getting off course here, directly to the Washington Courthouse NBD station, which is the same heading as it were. Whoa! There we go. And here I'm chasing the vertical speed again. Oh god. The last time I did this crap was when I was trying to recreate what's his name's disaster, JFK. Alright, give it a little bit of gas, trim up. And it is very hard to maintain straight and normal flight in IFR conditions. Non-precision approaches. First of all, a disclaimer. As you can see in the weather in this flight, we have fog, we have a ceiling of 200 feet, and a visibility of maybe a mile. In those weather conditions, you don't want to do a non-precision approach. You can't see well enough. For that, you want to do a precision approach with the ILS, which I've discussed in the previous video. But for the sake of education, I'm going to try and do this flight, and I'm going to try and land at these airports using non-precision approaches. Alright, so let's go with a quick definition. What is a non-precision approach? This is when you use various navigation aids that get you close enough to the airport that you can see the runway. It gets you in the zone. You generally land up with the runway. That's why it's called a non-precision. Once you get a visual of the runway, you go from IFR to VFR, and you can only do a non-precision approach in IFR conditions only to a certain level of visibility. And in our current weather conditions, we have exceeded that level. And the opposite of a non-precision approach is a precision approach, which is done using the ILS. Now, with a non-precision approach, there's 3 tools that you can use. You can use the GPS, you can use your ADF radio in your aircraft, and you can use your Nav1 radio. GPS is that's easy enough. All you do is you dial in the approach for the runway for the airport that you want, if it's available, bring it up, activate it, and then use the nav, and then just control your altitude and your speed, and the plane, once it's on autopilot, will fly. That's simple enough. You know, don't need to go any more than that. Next, you can use your ADF radio. How does that work? Alright, so let's look at the flight plan. The ADF is called Automatic Direction Finder. It is this little doohickey in your aircraft called the ADF needle. And how it works is you dial in the frequency off the non-directional beacon, and then this arrow points to where it is. So if you look at the flight plan, and ADF looks like this on the map, all these dots in a circle. So in this flight plan, there's an ADF right here, BOUTN, and the code is 230, and it also has a Morse code after it, just like the VOR stations. There's an ADF right here also. I've noticed in my tours, Non-directional beacons are very popular outside the United States, and they're pretty close to a runway. Okay, so what you do is, in this case, you tune your ADF radio to, in this case, 230, and if I'm heading south, what's going to happen is the needle in this case is going to point south. So when you're in the plane, wherever the station is relative to your position, it's going to point in that direction. So if the needle is pointing this way, what you want to do is turn the aircraft to the left until the needle is going straight, and that way you're going straight towards it. You can do, or you can use a radial from a VOR station to do a non-precision approach. In this case, the VOR station is on the field near or at the airport. In this case, for Pickaway County Airport, as you can see, there's a VOR station on the field. And if you look closely in Sky Vector, you'll see that many medium to large airports have a VOR station on the field. Here's one right here. Here's another one right here. And here's another one right here. So quite a few airports, they actually have VOR stations or VOR transmitters right on the field, and that's going to do a pretty good job of helping you do a non-precision approach. Now, zoomed in too far. So how to do a non-precision approach using the VOR? First, you want to study the chart, study the approach chart ahead of time. Okay, and once you're flying towards the VOR station, what you want to do is tune nav1 to the frequency 112.5, and then you want to start your approach as far as possible. In this case, what I want to do is fly a little bit north of this airport, and then you want to tune, in this case, tune your Omni Bearing Selector 1, the OBS that's tuned or works with nav1. Dial that into the heading that you want right here, which is 165, and then all you're gonna do is just keep flying that heading. And what's gonna happen is, as you approach this radial, the OBS needle is gonna start swinging and start lining up into the middle. Once it's near the middle or at the middle, you can go ahead and make, in this case, a right turn to 165. And if you're using the autopilot, you can turn on autopilot, turn on nav, and it will track that radial all the way down to the runway, or in the vicinity of the airport within a mile or so, so that you can actually see the runway, and then you can go from IFR to VFR and then land. Obviously, you don't want to be too high, otherwise you won't be able to land in time, and you want to fly slow enough so that you can react to the runway once you see it. I'm approaching 200 feet. I should be seeing ground pretty soon. I never did close my window. Alright, there we are, 200 feet. Give it some gas. Alright, there we go. Alright, so I want to stay at this altitude. Track this course until I see the airport, and then I land. It appears this road is taking me exactly where I need to go. Getting off course. Gotta stay low. I'm gonna hit those trees. Shit. The trees wasn't part of the plan, and I just passed the damn thing, and there's the airport right there. Jeez. Alright. Flaps up. Let's carry on with the rest of the plan. But you get the idea, folks. You use your ADF, tune into the NBD, which takes you right to the runway. If I had better visibility, I could nail it. So what we're gonna do is, okay, I'm flying straight and level here. Yes. Thank you. I'll bring it down. All right. I need to fly heading 105. Make a coordinated turn. Step on the ball. Now, I'm going to be using the Yellowbud VOR. I'm pretty sure that I can nail this one. What I need to do is bring up the damn, here it is, the approach. Oh, looks like we're clearing out here. Alright. Okay, that's fine. Alright, Yellowbud VOR is 112.5. Let's trim down. I'm watching my vertical speed and watching my altitude. 112.5. Like so. This is going to come alive, and there it is. And then all I need to do is tune. So I need to fly heading 120. Alright. And I've never used an autopilot on this thing. It looks like I'm getting out of the soup here, which is gonna make my life a lot easier. Alright, the radial I need to track 19 is, well, first let me get on course. Alright, so if I come on down, I can get out of the soup. There we go. Alright. Alright, the radial I need to track for this is 165. Is that it? Yes, I need to track radial 165. So what that means is you dial in radial 165 on here, like so. And then I need to come left. So that I can intercept the radial, then make a right turn to make the approach. Now it looks as if it's cleared up here. Alright, 165. So I'm just going to go ahead and fly east. So what you do is you dial in 165 right here. Okay? And then once you start passing over the radial, this needle is going to start moving to the middle. Once the needle moves to the middle, you can make your right turn to 165 and it will guide you all the way in. VOR towers, or the VOR radials, are a lot less precise than the ILS. ILS is a lot more sensitive. So you have to watch your speed, you have to watch your altitude so you don't overshoot. Here, you can wait until it's lined up before you make your turn, or a couple degrees before you make your turn. The fog is over there. That's where I just flew out of. So in this case, I can do a visual approach, but I'm going to use the instruments as a demonstration. Okay, keep tracking east. We're clearing up again. I should get a good visual on the runway just by looking out. Let's see an idea how far we got to go. Not too far. 165. We need to keep tracking east. Actually, you can just cheat. Look on this. CYO. Here's the airport right there. The point is not to cheat. The point is to do this correctly. Okay, the needle is moving. Alright, the needle is moving. See, it's slowly tracking towards the middle. Okay, so all I gotta do, okay, maintain my heading. I'm a little bit off. Alright, and once this gets lined up in the middle, I can go ahead and make my turn to 165. There it is, 165. So I'm going to come left, step on the ball, make a coordinated turn to 165, and that's going to take me right to the airport. And I need to pull my nose up. I'll start crashing to the ground. Alright, 165, here we go. Alright, now, what I'm going to do, I'm a little bit off here, but that's okay. That's why it's called a non-precision approach. All it's going to do is get me in the zone so I can see the runway. What I need to do is come on down. See, it's right there. I'm coming right up on it. Alright. And there it is right there. Alright, let's see if I can do this. And that's how you do a non-precision approach. Alright. Full flaps. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend anyone trying to do a full do a non-precision approach in these minimums. The weather is simply too bad. You need to use an ILS for this stuff. It's a relatively short runway and I'm too high. I should be able to nail the landing. Actually, I'm not going to be able to nail the landing. I'm way too high. Alright. What's the heading? 190. What's the orientation? 210. Let's get right over these trees. I can't go any higher. I'll lose the airport. I'm just flying a really, really close pattern here. A very close pattern. Alright. 104. Okay. Alright. See if we can do this. Okay, if I don't want to stall the wings. Full power. Keep my eye on the runway. There it is. Alright. Still high, but this time I can get it down. And that's it. Alright, so that's my half-ass guide to do for non-precision approaches. Hope you found this video useful. Ideally, you use the non-precision approach, clear nights, or hazy days, or if it's been raining a little bit, not when you have fog and 200 feet ceilings. So, but that one worked out pretty good. Just remember, folks, you can use the GPS, just dial in the approach, but that one's too easy. Just dial in the approach and fly the nav. Or you can use the ADF in many airports all over the world. ADF is a primary source of navigation. Just go ahead and dial in the 3 or 4 digit code, and your the ADF needle will point directly to the nav beacon, whatever direction it is, and all you got to do is fly towards it. That's all you have to do. Once you fly over it, it's going to swing around, and there's plenty of math and little tricks that you can use with your airspeed, heading, the ADF, the compute, all sorts of good information. But I don't have any of that stuff with me right here. And the other approach is with your nav 1 or nav 2 radio. Just use your VOR needles to intercept the radio and ride it down. Very, very easy. Alright. Forgot how much fun it is to fly this plane. Alright, let's just go ahead and park right here. And do the power down. Kill the engine. And turn this off. And turn these off here. And the ignition. And that's it. Click this. And we are good. Yeah. We are good. So, I'll just go ahead and leave the flaps down. Hope you found this information useful. My name is Flightsimguy. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.